Today, we are going to talk about reaching out others for Jesus. Reaching out others for Jesus as women ministry. Our work on this earth is to reach out to others. And the men and the children and the youths need to join the women ministry as we reach others for Jesus. And our topic is how God takes ordinary people like you and me to do extraordinary things. How Jesus uses ordinary people, ordinary women, ordinary men, ordinary youths, ordinary children, and makes them extraordinary. We are going to do a case study on Andrew. Andrew is always referred to as Peter's brother. Andrew, the brother of Peter, always. And I know many women here, many people know you as Mama Fulani, or the wife of so-and-so. It doesn't matter what people know about you, you can make a difference for Jesus. And therefore we are going to look at Andrew and see who he was and what he did that we can be able to copy as we go home. We've already read those texts, we will come back to them. We have sung that song. Now, there's something I was thinking about as I was preparing. As Seventh-day Adventists, we have three challenges as I see them. And I am one of you, so I am saying I'm also in that challenge. The first one is that we are locked up in churches. Very few are going out to reach out. It's like we are locked up. It's like we are here and we are very happy with our church. And therefore, when there is an opportunity to go out and minister, very few are doing God's work in that sense. But they are very happy to come, Sabbath after Sabbath, coming to church, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. But we are like locked up in the church. The other challenge is that we are very comfortable seated. We are very comfortable seated. And therefore, in the church, you will even know where certain people sit in church. If you don't see them there, you know they were not there. They are very strategic. They sit on one place. They love the place with where they can look outside, or they want to sit at the back there where nobody sees them. We are very comfortable in our pews. And then looking at our impact where we live, looking at our impact where we serve, where we work, even the servicemen and women who are working in this complex, looking at the impact of who we are and where we work, you find there is very little. We are living very little planes. You know, you cannot tell there was an Adventist here for one reason or the other. Because the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we converse, the way we do things is more or less the same. And so there are three challenges that are affecting us. And we need to be honest with ourselves and see where God needs to help us. And especially we who are studying the book of Jeremiah, we come to realize that there is no difference between that time and this time. The sins that God's people made that time are the same sins we are repeating today. And therefore God has a call for us this morning. And I hope that you will remember that you are saved to serve. You are saved to serve. We are forgetting this. When you are locked up in church, when you are seated and comfortable in church, doing nothing, when it doesn't matter whether your neighbor knows Jesus or not, whether it doesn't matter whether that person you stay with, you work with, knows Jesus or not, it means that we are forgetting why Jesus called one by one. He called us out of the world so that we can come into the church so that we can serve others. And that is my subject this morning, and that is why I have chosen the character of Andrew. Andrew being one of the 12 disciples, but not very audible. He wasn't like his brother Peter. He wasn't like John. He wasn't like Matthew. We don't know much about him, but he's one man who made a very big impact in God's kingdom. And therefore, as ordinary as you may think you are, you can be able to turn lives to Jesus. You can be able to bring young children to Jesus. You can be able to bring your youth to Jesus. You can bring men and women to Jesus in your very ordinary way. And that is the story of Andrew. Ordinary as we may be, we can choose to be like Andrew. Or an ordinary person who made great impact in God's kingdom. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, you have gathered us here to help us come out of the churches and impact lives in our own homes, in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces, everywhere you send us, in the matatu, wherever you send us, Lord, you have called us to service. Help us to be reminded this morning. As you remind me, please remind all of us seated before you, so that, Lord, we can be able to come to you with many, because that is what will matter at the end of it all. As we study the lesson from the book of John, John chapter 1, John chapter 6, and John chapter 12, and trace this character, Andrew, I plead with you that you speak to me, and that you speak to each one of us as we sit before you, and help us to make new ways of doing things. Ordinary as we can be, help us to be extraordinary. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. We are going to read again from the book of John, chapter 1. John, chapter 1. This time we read 40 to 42. John, chapter 1. We read 40 to 42. Yes.
One of the two which had John's feet and followed him.
Please stand. Whoever is reading, when you read God's word, please stand up. Holy word, please stand.
John chapter 1 verse 40. One of the two which had John's feet and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He found his brother Simon and said unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is, meaning the Christ. Verse 42, and he brought him to Jesus. And when Jesus beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation, a stone.
Amen. Andrew and another disciple, we are not sure about his name, were John's disciples. And one time as Jesus is passing by, John points at Jesus and says, Behold the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of men. And John and his friend were curious, and they followed Jesus. And when they followed Jesus, they asked him, Master, where do you live? We know elsewhere Jesus was asked the same, and he said, Foxes and everyone in birds have some place to stay. I do not have. This time Jesus told Andrew and his friend, Come and show you. And so they went. I believe they talked a lot of things. But from that encounter, we find just Andrew quickly went to look for his brother. Who was his brother? He went to Peter. And he told him, Come, we have found who? We have found the Messiah. Our lesson is divided into 3 parts. And that's why I say I am a teacher. I want you to remember these 3 things. In John 1:39 to 42, we will discover that God uses ordinary people. God does not use people who know. He uses people who don't know, and then he teaches them. He uses ordinary people. And then you discover through Andrew that God uses ordinary methods. Very ordinary. And you come to discover which ordinary method did Andrew use so that we can learn from him. And then number 3, God uses ordinary moments. So that is the context of our study this morning. That God uses ordinary people, he uses ordinary methods, he uses ordinary moments. Many times we are unable to reach out we are not able to reach out to people for Jesus because we are thinking of big things, complicated things. These times of high technology. No, he can use any method, and sometimes very, very ordinary methods. In John 1, as we have read, we see Andrew was always referred to as Simon Peter's brother. You will come to discover, even in the next of the text we are going to read, he was always known as a brother to Peter. Little is known about him, but one thing is sure, he was very ordinary. But he was very effective in pointing people to Jesus. You know, when you come to church, sometimes you think you don't know. But let me tell you, if only you allow Jesus to use you, you can point very many people to Jesus. Sometimes without even saying a single word. But just the virtue of the life you live where you are, you can point people to Jesus. Just like this man called Andrew. Maybe you are not known where you come from. Maybe people refer you as the daughter of so-and-so, the wife of so-and-so, mama so-and-so. They don't even know your name. That should not discourage you. Jesus can use you just the way you are. And this is what we learn from Andrew. When he went to call Peter, he had no idea what type of man he was bringing to Jesus. Later on in the book of Acts chapter 2, we find this mighty preacher. This man who spoke, and in a day, how many people came to Jesus? 3,000. So you can be so ordinary that you do not think that you calling up somebody will make a difference. You may not do more than just calling that person, but you could be able to call somebody who is going to do great things for God. And that is why even these children you see here, don't look down on them. Tomorrow they'll be the evangelists. Tomorrow they'll be the big people. We need also to call small children to Jesus. I became an Adventist not long ago. It's long ago now, it's 22 years. I was a Pentecostal, grew up as an African, and when I came to know the Adventist message, I was so excited. Because when I grew up, I did not know there were people who used to worship on Saturday. I didn't know at all. I only knew everybody keeps Sunday. We went to church on Sunday. We did our weddings on Wednesday. And it is when I came to Kenyatta University that I started seeing some people who are in my class going, they were meeting on Saturday. And they didn't tell me, they didn't tell me not even one time. And later on, when I became an Adventist, one of the sisters now who is a lawyer, she asked me, how did you know about Jesus? And she said to me, I feel so ashamed that not one time I ever told you about this faith. And I said, well, it is fine. Maybe it was not you to tell me. And I told her about my conversion. It was this family that came to know Jesus, and we were good friends. And they started giving me books to read, books to read, books to read. And then we started doing Bible study. And it hit me that the Sabbath is on Saturday. And after a while, it was difficult because, you know, everything we did was on Sunday. And so I decided I'm going to remain cool. I'm not going to trouble anyone until I know the full truth. Therefore, I did a study for 2 good years. I used to go to Barry Road. And after 2 years, I said, no, I cannot still remain on Sunday when I now know the truth. And I came out. And it was terrible because my family is very religious and we are a big family. They felt that I was betraying them. But I said, I cannot keep quiet with this faith. And therefore we started Bible study in my home. I remember we used to go home every Sunday and we would study with my mother and my father and they would call neighbors. And my mother believed. And after just 1 year she died. And because of her faith, and she was a treasurer of their church for a long time, many more people believed. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be as ordinary as anyone. All what we are being asked to do is to tell people what you know about Jesus. Andrew only knew we have found the Messiah. That's all what he knew. And he brought his brother to the Messiah. You know, it is the Messiah who chooses what to do with the person who is brought to him. And God made Peter, whom we know today. Andrew may be in the background, but Peter we know. But it is because of his brother, Andrew, that Peter is known today. How many people are you passing by and you haven't told them about the Messiah? And you don't have to tell them many things. You may not know, like this family only told me about the Sabbath because they knew I was born again. I did not have a problem with Jesus. I did not have a problem with being spirit-filled. I did not have a problem with anything. But they pointed to me the area we were differing. And they brought me the message of the Sabbath. And I stand here today as a Sabbath keeper because somebody introduced me to the Messiah. Amen. And therefore, friends, we can be very ordinary, live ordinary lives, but make a difference for Jesus. And you need only to point those close to you. I keep on telling people, nobody can find my husband. You know, many people ask me, why doesn't your husband come to church? My husband is just coming to church now. And they say, can we come and see them? I say, it's okay, but you never touch my husband the way I'll touch him. It is me who can point him to Jesus. Why? Because I'm closest to him. You can come and encourage him, that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the person who can join, who can really point my husband to Jesus is a wife. The person who can point a daughter to Jesus is a mother or a father. Why? Because you are closest to them. You know many times we keep on bringing people to hammer. And what happens after you've hammered? The people say, ulinistaki kwa kanisa. Sasa hata hiyo kanisa staki. But if we know in our own ordinary ways, talking to our brethren at home, telling them about Jesus in the way we live, at their own time, the Lord is going to bring them one by one. And they will testify that it's because of my ordinary wife that I'm born again today. All you need is to have a willing heart to call others. When they ask Jesus, where do you live? It is a show of willingness that I want to know this Messiah. Because when you know the Messiah, then you can call others and say, well, there's something new I have known. I want also to bring you to this Messiah. So it's a willing heart that the Lord is looking for. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies those he calls. Do you feel sometimes you are inadequate? Don't worry. The moment you come, God is going to qualify you so that you can qualify all others. He does not call the gifted. Some people say, me, I have no gift. He doesn't call the gifted. He gives gifts to those who have answered his call. So if you feel you do not have a gift like me, I am a teacher, and I have the gift of teaching, you don't have to do teaching in the church. If you can sing, I am not very good at singing. I try in the congregation, but I'm not good in singing. That is not my gift, but I love to sing. It's not my gift. Use your gift. I use my teaching gift. Another elder who can preach uses his gift, and all of us together, we can win many to Jesus. If you look through the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, 26 to 31, please go and read those texts. But Paul reminds us how the Lord called us. He called us as weak as we were, as ignorant as we were. And then what happens is that when he calls us and we come, he then now qualifies us. He gives us his wisdom. And therefore he says, no one of us can boast. I cannot boast because I can teach. I cannot. Because if I can teach, it is because Jesus has qualified me to do it. So I cannot boast. And so when you look at what the Lord is saying, he will use us in our weaknesses. And when he has identified our weaknesses, he strengthens them. And then he uses us as instruments of grace. And that is why 1 Corinthians, the whole of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 is so important for anyone who is feeling like they are not able. For anyone who is feeling like they cannot be able to represent God. He says, you cannot represent me in your understanding. But when you accept to come, I am going to qualify you. So God does not use the qualified. God does not use the strong. In fact, when you feel very strong, then you are very weak. And you need to be very, very concerned when you feel strong. Because God uses weak vessels and he strengthens them so that he can use them that they may glorify God. Because if we come to God in our strength, then we would say we know. And there is nothing we know. So may the Lord help us to know that we can be advantage, ordinary, but just pointing people to Jesus, telling them there is the Messiah, telling them Jesus is coming again. Please prepare your life. Jesus is preparing for you a mansion. Don't let it go to waste. Jesus is doing this for you. That is all what he wants us to do. We want to demystify evangelism and make it very easy so that all of us can be used of the Lord. And that is what this man, Andrew, teaches me. There are those maybe who feel like we are too old now, we cannot be able to do much for God. And so when a call is made to go for evangelism, when a call is made to go to hospitals, people give reasons as to why they don't want to go. Me, I feel old, I feel like I can't. There is no one who is old in the family of God. I was asking, how old was Moses when he was called to go and deliver the children of Israel? How old was he? How old was Moses? How old was Moses? 80. Is there somebody seated here who is 80? Eh? Is there somebody who is here who is 80? But Moses worked for God after 80. So there is nobody who can give a reason and say, me, I cannot go for hospital visitation because I'm old. Sitaweza kupanda hizo gazi za Kenyatta. You can. You can. How old was John when he wrote the book of Revelation? When he got the vision to write the book of Revelation? He was over 90. Did he work for God? Yes. There is no one child who can be old to work in the Bible. I hear even young people, sometimes they say, oh no, I'm not in the ambassadors. I will not go for their ministry. You go. When you go there, the people you went to see will not know there is ambassador and there is youth. You will just be good people who came to bring the good news of Jesus. Let's not sit back because of either age or whatever. None is too old to serve. None. We can choose to influence our young people for Jesus. We can choose to work with the young people and influence them for Jesus. None of us is too old. God takes the ordinary people and makes them extraordinary. He uses only those who will give glory to him. People who can share their own testimony. You need just to go to places and not just have one or two people share their testimony. It's enough to save a soul. when people know what you have gone through and what Jesus has done for you, they will come to Jesus. There are people who know how to smile. You know, that smile is an ability that you can use for Jesus. Imagine, just ordinary like that. Inviting people for prayer sessions when there is a prayer meeting, just invite people. You may not be very good at talking, and you may not be very good at leading in prayers, but those people will come and find other people God can use. And just by inviting them, they can come to know Jesus. People who do Bible study, you do not have to do yours. If you know there is a Bible study somewhere, or you know there is one of our preachers who really speaks well, you can be able to invite people to come and watch a video or listen to sermons. The second one is that God uses ordinary methods. We want to go to the book of John, chapter 6. We will not read all of it, but you know the encounter with Jesus, or with the 5,000 men. They are following Jesus. And Jesus asks Philip, what are we going to give these people? And Philip said, we don't have enough money. Please send them away. Let's hear what Andrew says in John 6, 8 to 10. Let's hear. We are following this character, Andrew. Yes.
John 6, verse 8. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, there is a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? And Jesus said, let the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down in number about 5,000.
Thank you. Jesus addresses 2 people. First, he addresses Philip. And he asks Philip, what will we give these people? And Philip says, we don't have enough. Please ask them to go and look for food. Andrew, on the other hand, realizes that nearby there is a boy with very little. He had 2 fishes and 5 small, they are not loaves. You know, you may think it's 5 loaves of bread. No, it was a packed lunch for a child. So it can't have been 5 loaves. They were just, you know, those buns, small things, just for this boy. And Andrew noticed that there is somebody with something. And if I take this something to this man, now I know as my Messiah, maybe he can do something. And so he walks to Jesus with the young man and says, there is this boy who has his lunch. And Jesus picked it up. And Jesus, of course Jesus knew that that boy was there. I'm sure he had even seen it. But you want to look at this man. He looks at that food, he would have dismissed it. But he was a man of ordinary methods. And in this case, it was the fish and the loaf. And Andrew knew that little in the hands of Jesus is much. And Jesus prayed over that food, and it fed 5,000 men. If you had 5,000 men, it means there were more women than that time. And if there were another 5,000 women, then it means that the children may have been more. So we are talking of a very big congregation. He fed them with the fish and those loaves that were packed for these little children. The question is, what do you have that you can use to bring somebody to Jesus? Do you have a talent? Ladies, do you have an ability? When God asked Moses, what is in your hands? Moses only had a stick. I call it a stick. I know we call it a rod. But I want you to see it was a simple stick. God does not call us to give what we don't have. So when he asks us to turn lives to Jesus, he's saying, just look around you and pick up what you have. And I'm going to use it. I'll multiply it and I'll use it for my glory. With ordinary methods, you can bring many people to Jesus. I want to give you a personal testimony for my witnessing as a person. We witness in groups, but I also pick up witnessing as a person. This year, I decided I was going to use the ordinary steps to Christ. This book, have you read this book? Have you read this book? Yes, 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 oh yes. This is Steps to Christ. You know, we say these are our books, but sometimes we've never gone through them. Anyone who goes through these 11 chapters and is not touched to turn to Jesus is hardened. And Jesus can still touch it. This book, I've read it many times. And whenever I have an issue on anything, I'm not rejoicing in Jesus for whatever reason, I go back to chapter 11. And therefore, at the beginning of the year, I asked God, help me to reach out souls with this book. I'm talking about using ordinary methods. This book, when you buy in our APC, it's about 200 shillings and 20. 180 and 150. When you buy in bulk, because you can send the evangelist, it's about 160. This year, I decided, God, this is what I want to do as a person. I want to circulate this book. I've done 160. And 50 of them went to commit a prison. And you know what happens when you go to the prisons with this book? It's read by how many people? Only eternity will tell. Because when one reads, they give and give. They can give to the whole prison. An ordinary way of reaching people. You may not feel that this is not the way to go. You can go either way as the Lord enables you. But this is a good way to start. Please read this book if you haven't read, so that you can use it to bring others to Jesus. And it's also an easy way of starting Bible study with those ones who have read, because then you can discuss. Now, last 2 months, about 2 months ago, I was going to Entebbe, I was going to Uganda to work. And I sat with this girl who was coming from Dubai. She was coming back home. She's called Gloria. She was coming back home after working in Dubai, I think for 2 years. She was coming to see the parents. And as we engaged in talking, I said, Gloria, very pretty young woman. I said, Gloria, we have talked many things, but I want to leave you with a message that you can also go and share with your parents. And I took this book, I wrote my address, and I gave it to Gloria. Gloria was not a Christian at all. Not at all. And she was coming home for a month. After 1 month, she wrote to me. And she said, Sister Rose, you gave me God. I've read and reread Steps of Christ. And even if we never meet, I know the truth. Friends, God is not using for big things. We are not being asked to do big things. He's asking us to use ordinary methods to reach out to people. If I didn't have this book, we would have talked and she would have gone and I would have gone. But you can see something is left behind that maybe probably she has left behind with the mother. And this small book can save thousands. Ordinary methods to reach out to people. We are not being asked to do big things. The second one, I use the text SMS. The SMS texting. And every week, I send out messages to young people. Young people within my influence. It could be my nieces, my nephews, and my family is not Adventist. They are not, many are not. I have only 2 sisters who have come to know the Lord. The others are still in the side churches. But I have chosen to use this technology of SMS to write them a message at least once a week, asking them to accept Jesus as their personal friend. And we'll say something like, this is our lesson for this week, but at the end of it all, I tell them, have Jesus as your friend. Wherever you are, whichever church you are in, have Jesus as your friend. And when the Lord allows you to know the truth, you will know Jesus indeed. And therefore, what is your agenda with the people you live with? My agenda is to help young people make a decision for Jesus. They may not make it now. I don't have to force it, but I must keep on saying it. That the best decision you can make as a young person is to love Jesus. What is your 2 fishes and your 3 loaves? Mine could be the steps to Christ. Mine could be the SMS. What is your 2 fishes and your 3 loaves? It could be that smile that you have. It could be one on inviting people to come into your house for prayer. You do not know people are in such difficulty. By just calling them, come for a prayer meeting, you'll be surprised that they'll be willing to come. Organize a Bible study, share literature, share audio and videotapes. We have many of them Adventists, or just calling people, or you being a prayer warrior, just taking time to pray for our pastors, praying for our elders. The Lord is going to do great things for you and do great things for them as well. And therefore, every one of us is to use whatever method that they are comfortable with to win someone for Christ. God can use your small fishes and your small loaves. Ask Him to open your eyes today to see what you have and can use to reach others. Just ask Him, Lord, open my eyes. Open my eyes to see what is it I have in my hands that I can be able to use to reach others for Christ. The last one is God uses common or ordinary moments. And again, we meet Andrew in the book of John 12, verse 20 to 22. God uses common and ordinary moments.
Verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip came and told Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip told Jesus.
Amen. We see Philip and Andrew again. This time, it's some Greeks who have come. They want to see Jesus. And you know, the Greeks and the Israelites did not just mix. And I'm sure they listened to the names and heard Philip, and they said, this Philip sounds like somebody close to where he comes from. And so they approached him. I guess Philip was maybe a timid one. I'd love to see Philip in heaven and ask him, how are you? And so Philip knew Andrew. He knew when it comes to taking people to Jesus, Andrew will have a sita. And so he went to Andrew and said, these people want to see Jesus. And they both of them took these Greeks to Jesus. And I'm sure they came to know Jesus, and maybe we are going to see them in the kingdom. Jesus himself always took advantage of common moments to reach us. He never lost a chance. He didn't lose. If you look at the life of Jesus, there's no one time he lost a chance. Anytime he passed through Jericho, he was going there for somebody. If he was going back to Jerusalem, it's for a reason. If he was by the lakeside, if he was on the mountain, he was very strategic. He never lost a moment. Andrew also knew that these Greeks were available now. So he needed to take them to Jesus when they are there. And so he and Philip this time took these people to Jesus. He didn't want to lose that opportunity. Think about yourself for a moment. How many opportunities have you lost in the last 1 week? There are people you met with, and maybe they will go to a Christless grave. Maybe they will die before they know Jesus. I write this, I don't know whether you can read it, but it says, collect moments, not things. Many of us are quickly hoarding a lot of things. Either it's land for those ones with money, or it's many houses, or those ones without that much money. It could be anything. Our moments are spent looking and looking for temporal things. And every time I think of these temporal things, I think of the time money will be lying on the streets with no one. The only thing we can take at that time will be our character and the characters of those that we have turned to Jesus. And we let so many moments just pass by as we look for things instead of redeeming time. Collect moments, not things. If you are to think about your whole agenda in this life, is to save yourself and save those God brings around you. They may not understand it now, but live as though you want to save them, even if they are not saved. Because the moment you are out of there, they will say, Mom wanted me saved. I refused. But every day of her life, anytime we talked, the only thing they reminded me was, what is your relationship with the Messiah? Andrew was that type of a person. And that is why Philip doesn't call Peter. Was Peter there? I am sure they were there. But he went to Andrew. And he said, Andrew, please let's take these people to Jesus. Because he knew it was so natural for Andrew to take people to Jesus. What divine moments do we keep losing in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces to bring people to Jesus? And sometimes it's just to tell them that Jesus loves you. Jesus cares for you. Many are going to their graves without Christ. How many people have you passed in the past week? Have I passed in the past week? And haven't told them. Today, ask God to open your eyes to those divine moments that you have with that daughter who doesn't know Jesus. With that son who is troublesome. Send them a message and tell them, Man, my son, I love you. What you are doing is wrong. Jesus loves you more than I love you. Sometimes it's just a message like that will break their hearts and they can come back to Jesus. That husband who hasn't taken a step for Christ, don't lose any moment. Bring them to Jesus. Bring them in prayer. Some of them you don't even have to tell them. Cry to Jesus on their behalf. That worker who is so troublesome. That one who is always scheming. That one who always wants your downfall. Pray to them. Pray about them to Jesus. Let's play fair to God. God has committed us the opportunity to service, to serve others so that they can come also and know Jesus. And when you have people who are needed, when you have people who are in trouble, these are great moments you can use to turn hearts to Jesus. When you are in that matatu, think about the person seated next to you. Can you leave a mark in the life of that person? Maybe they are so downhearted. Maybe they are contemplating suicide. Maybe they are overburdened. And a word from you. You who has prayed in the morning and have peace of God in you. just a word to them can turn around their lives, can make them think something different. It could be that person who is on their sick bed and they are afraid they're going to die. Give them hope. Give them hope. Give them hope. Use simple methods. Don't go along without a book. Those who don't have books, bring a cassette with you. Bring something. And when you find somebody is interested, you can leave them with something and tell them, if you need more, this is my address. Reaching out to Jesus in ordinary ways is powerful, because it doesn't mean that we get so much out of our way. We just do ordinary, common things and leave a mark in the lives of Jesus. Those ones with talents and gifts, use them. Use them. When there is ministry, I'm a chaplain. When there is going to be ministry in hospital, come and sing. You don't have to be a trained chaplain to sing. Come and join the chaplains to sing. Come and join them to give a prayer. Come and join them to encourage. Daily, ask God to open your eyes to see. Ask Him to give you feet to move. Ask Him to give you a heart and hands that touches life. So we are using us, ordinary as we are, to reach out men and women for Jesus. Ordinary, yes, but Andrew allowed Jesus to use him. He used ordinary methods, and he took advantage of every moment that came his way. That is Andrew for me. And I pray that as we come to the end of this service, that each one of us will desire to be like Andrew. Always looking out for those moments. Always looking out for ordinary ways. And always, as an ordinary person, committing our lives to Jesus. In the coming week and beyond, determined to do something for Christ. Start a ministry. And a ministry could be just distributing some tracts. It could be just giving out videos or calling people to come into your house just for prayers. Nobody will refuse to come for prayer. Just tell people, just come to my house for prayer. If you don't want to come to my house, can I come to your house for prayer? It could be just easy things like that. Ladies, may the Lord awaken us from our slumber. May He enable us to stand for Him like Andrew. And definitely, there is a question, who will go and walk with Christ? Nipo Bwana Nitume. We are going to sing this song as we sit, because I want you to think about these words. I want you to think. I want you to do it in a very ordinary way. So I want to ask the chorister to come. Just sit where you are. Let's sit here. Let's just sit here. Let's sit here. And then we sing together, then we go up and do the gospel. Please. Nipo Bwana Nitume. In a very simple way. Let's sing this song as we give you